What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Eros Ramazzotti. And big thank you once again to Michaela, who has provided 2 CDs, and also for the patience, as it took me quite a long time to get around to this deep dive. But I figure we'll go through the album I started last time and this singles, maybe hits compilation just titled Eros, back and forth. We'll just kind of jump between them and go through them both concurrently. And the first tune on this Eros compilation is Terra Promessa. Now, I don't speak Italian, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and conclude, or at least hypothesize, that this means Promised Land. So, obviously, I don't speak Italian, and thus will not be able to give any insight as to what he might be saying about a Promised Land, or what this Promised Land specifically might be. Now, to be fair, I do speak a bit of Spanish, and although they are different languages, Spanish and Italian, there's a similarity. They both are Latin languages, they both are Romance languages, as they are sometimes called, so it's not impossible that there's at least 1 or 2 words along the way that I might be able to reasonably guess at. But the point is, by the end of the tune, I likely will have no clear indication of whatever narrative or concept has been at play specifically. But yeah, maybe the sonics will give me some sense of a promised land. Of course, the title could be ironic. It might not be quite as optimistic or ideal as it sounds. Nevertheless, the concept in general, the idea of some place, and that could also be linked to a time, often like in the future, where someone or some group's destiny is said to be, and thus a covenant or some understanding exists between a narrative, a scripture, a cultural heritage, and that particular place, which again could be literally a place, but also more than that. So again, I'm curious to hear sonically what we will, and I'm also curious to hear his voice again, so let's give it a listen. This is Eros Ramazzotti from the compilation Eros, and the tune is Terra Promessa, which again, I'm going to go out on a limb and suggest means Promised Land.
Siamo i ragazzi di oggi, pensiamo sempre all'America, guardiamo lontano, troppo lontano. Viaggiare è la nostra passione, incontrare nuova gente, provare nuove emozioni, restare amici di tutti. Siamo i ragazzi di oggi, anime nella città, dentro i cinema vuoti, seduti in qualche bar, e camminiamo da soli, nella notte più scura, anche se il domani ci fa un po' paura, finché qualcosa cambierà, finché nessuno ci darà. I nostri pensieri, noi non ci fermeremo, non ci stancheremo di cercare il nostro cammino. Siamo i ragazzi di oggi, zingari di professione, con i giorni davanti e in mente un'illusione. Noi siamo fatti così, guardiamo sempre al futuro e così immaginiamo un mondo meno duro, finché qualcosa cambierà, finché nessuno ci darà. Una terra promessa, un mondo diverso dove crescere i nostri pensieri. Noi non ci fermeremo, ci stancheremo di cercare il nostro insieme noi troveremo.
I like that a lot. I like that maybe more than the first track that I heard, which again is like from a different release. In any case, the point is it's light, it's smooth, it's groovy, and I like the dynamic vocal performance. And indeed, like in what I think were the verses, he had this more spoken word style, and he was kind of rolling the syllables, and there was a bit of a like irregular rhythm, though perfectly fitting within the larger rhythm of the track. And then the more sung vocals in what I guess was the chorus, when the music got a bit fuller and bigger, that almost reminded me of like an Italian Phil Collins or something. Something about the way he was singing in those more melodic parts felt a bit like Phil Collins. And I enjoyed the production. Again, the guitar doing some like nice select rhythms. And then I think a trumpet. At first it was like, oh, is that a sax? I think it was a trumpet. But either way, the brass, had these nice flourishes. It wasn't like ubiquitous. It wasn't like one of the main aspects of the tune. But when the brass came in, it provided a nice shine to the track. I did enjoy also his non-lyrical vocals, the da-da-da, sort of the just melodic rhythmic vocals. There are a couple words, he seems to be saying we or us a lot. I did hear that, so I feel like this is, surely about more than just the narrator. Now, whether that's still a pretty small group or whether it's, humanity at large or somewhere in between, I'm not sure. I do think he said mundo or mundo, so I don't know, like in mundo, like in Spanish, is like world. So I don't know if like the word I heard is actually what it sounded like, but maybe he was referencing the world as well. Nevertheless, again, a fun tune. I like the groove to it. It had a smoothness to it. I don't know, because again, I think these tunes are drawn from different releases, different time periods. It felt like 80s, but in a very good way, meaning not like, oh, it sounds dated, but like it just kind of had the feel of like an 80s, as I said, like Phil Collins tune or something like that. So yeah, I very much enjoyed that. I look forward to any insight people have. Once again, thank you to Michaela for the material and for the patience for this deep dive, and to a handful of folks. There's some people from, different deep dives already existing on my channel who commented on the first Eros reaction like, oh hey, this should be fun, I'm looking forward to this. So yeah, like I said, I'm not only keen to hear more of his singing and music, but I'll be keen to see what people have to say, and including people who've been here on my channel for a while. So looking forward to it. Let me know, and I will see you next time. Peace.